like I was having a good time until you got here.
You and your best friend.
That's interesting you said partner.
I know, Freudian slip.
That's going to help you to start having those conversations where even if he does get defensive, it's like, he's just being fun. Welcome to the therapy floor. I'm Dr. Ritz.
And I'm Dr. Vicky.
And today's dilemma comes in from a mid-20-year-old who's got a relationship dilemma.
Ooh,
Let's go for it. My boyfriend's best friend has a habit of putting me down. Little jabs here and there. Some are outright rude comments like, I was having a good time until you got here. He always plays it off as a joke, but to me, it doesn't feel like one. Well, yeah, I think that was our reaction to it. I've tried bringing it up to my boyfriend, hoping he'd have my back, but every time I get the same response. He'll say something like, he's just joking, don't take it too seriously, feelings aren't facts, I get you, but that's just how he is.
Ooh, okay.
The middle one, feelings aren't facts.
I know. Ooh.
Ooh. Every time he says that, I feel like my emotions are being brushed aside. Like it doesn't actually matter how I feel as long as his friend is comfortable. I start questioning myself. Am I overreacting? Am I being too sensitive? But deep down, I know it's not about his friend's humour. It's about how my boyfriend reacts when I'm telling him something is bothering me. So now I'm stuck. If I keep bringing it up, I feel like I'm nagging and I don't want to be that guy. But if I let it go, I feel like I'm betraying myself and allowing disrespect to continue. Okay, good that you can identify it's disrespect.
Yeah.
Worst of all, I feel more distant from my boyfriend every time he dismisses me instead of taking me seriously.
Of course.
I don't need him to cut off his friend. I just need to feel like I matter to him. But right now, I don't know what to say that in a way it's actually going to get through to him. Please help me. What can I do?
Okay. What a tricky dilemma. Or just not a very pleasant experience, a dilemma to be put in. Because it very much feels like this is a situation that you're being put in. No one is asking you. No one has asked you to be placed in this situation. And it seems a bit unfair, doesn't it? But nevertheless, you have to kind of deal with it and tackle it head on, which I'm glad you're asking you're asking for some help to do this. And I also think you're right in saying that the main issue here is how your partner dismisses you.
It's not about the friend, is it?
Yeah.
It's about your experience of your partner, of your boyfriend.
Yeah, and what that means for you. What does that say about how he feels about you? What does that say about your relationship? And it will be so easy for you to kind of veer off into, he doesn't care about me, he doesn't respect me, he doesn't value me. And you can kind of build a narrative on that, which would be very understandable. But I think the thing here, which is very difficult to do when you feel like you are in a position of being victimised or you're the one that's being done to, is to seek to understand him. And that's the approach that I would take. Rather than, don't you see how much this is hurting me? That's all very valid, but it seems like that hasn't really gotten you very far so far. So I wonder if the approach here should be about seeking to understand each other. Like, help me to understand when I bring this up to you, how does it make you feel? And what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that I am nitpicking? Do you think I'm criticising you? Do you think I'm trying to drive a wedge between you and your partner? I mean, you and your best friend.
It's interesting you said partner.
I know, Freudian slip. But yeah, it seems like at this point of time, he's really valuing his friend's feelings over his partner's feelings, which is very interesting.
Like, you feel like the friend, and are they the couple? And you're trying to like knock and get in, but you're not feeling heard.
Yeah. And what's that about? Literally, I think it can be really hard to also seek for understanding when you have someone who's quite defensive. But I think if you approach this from a vantage point of, look, I really want to bring this up again. I know that it has caused tension between us, but I really just want to understand. I want you to understand me, and I really want to understand you. When I bring this up, when I raise this issue, this is the response I get from you, and I'm just confused. Can you help me to understand? And I think seeking for understanding is really important, because it could be that it's not that he doesn't care about you, it's not that he disrespects you, it's not that he values even his friend over you. Maybe he has an issue with confrontation. Maybe he has an issue with being told that he's doing something which isn't working for you. Maybe he has an issue with getting it wrong. Like, do you know what I mean? That has nothing to do with you, but everything to do with his own insecurity. So yeah, I'd seek to understand like why this is his position when you're telling him something that's affecting you and affecting you negatively. His response is to push it away. Is he curious about that?
I think what you're saying there, you're asking him to tap into his empathy for the other person, for his partner.
Yeah.
And when you're so frustrated, when you're so angry, upset, dismissed, that's such a difficult task to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
To tap into that empathy.
Yeah.
So I think if you can find a way of, because as you said, like his behaviours are pushing you away, so I imagine your connection is becoming quite brittle. I think if you can find a way of connecting back to him that allows you to then start drawing on that empathy of trying to understand him, that's going to help you to start having those conversations where even if he does get defensive, it's like, he's just being funny, he's just my funny friend, you know that, I've known him for years, like stop making it a thing. It's not a thing, he's just funny, like no one else has a problem with it. That of course, that naturally is going to, you know, put the defences up.
Yeah, because it seems like you're the one with the problem.
Yeah. But if you can tap into, as you were saying, why is he trying to keep it light for? Why is he not hearing that I'm saying I'm hurt?
Yeah.
And making it about the friend being funny?
Yeah.
Like, how can I seek to understand that and use your empathy for that? It's hard work, but I think it's going to start maybe helping you to navigate how to take it forward. If the way you want to take it forward is, I want to work through this. I see us continuing to have a relationship. There are other good things about this relationship. This is just a part that is not working for us at the moment. So how do we start to navigate, talk, potentially rupture and repair through it?
Yeah, yeah. And I think you have to have a real good talk with yourself about, are you willing to do that? Because one thing I know about relationships is that we like to say it's 50-50, it's give and take, everyone has to be invested at the same degree. But I think sometimes there are times when couples are at the same pace, at the same level, and there are times where one of them is more ahead in an area than one is playing catch up. And it may be that right now you're in the position to be a little bit more emotionally mature about this, and whilst it isn't fair when you feel like you're on the receiving end to be the one to be a bit more mature about this and to extend empathy when you're not receiving it, I think sometimes that's what it takes in order to get the ball rolling for some relationships, not every relationship. And obviously you don't want to be doing this so much and the other person isn't kind of following suit.
But that's feedback then, isn't it?
Yeah, feedback to the other person.
For yourself.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Is this working for me?
Is this working?
Because I think there's something about this which it sounds like you want to do, and it sounds like what you're bringing here to the dilemma, which is taking responsibility for yourself. This is a behaviour I'm not okay with. I'm ready to put a boundary down. I'm ready to respect myself enough to vocalise that and speak up. And I'm going to take responsibility for myself in that.
Yeah.
By saying, these behaviours make me feel. These behaviours are, you know, evoking something in me which makes me do this. I don't want to do this.
Mm.
This doesn't work for me. I don't want to be this person in a relationship.
Yeah.
This is how I want to be in a relationship. So when I feel like when you start taking responsibility for yourself rather than you did this and you did that and that doesn't work for me, and we get into that blame culture, you're not necessarily thinking about yourself in the way that's, as you're saying, emotionally mature and wanting to move forward. And so if you're vocalizing, these are my needs and I'm going to vocalize them, and you mention them, and you're mentioning how you can come together as a team to do that, but the other person's not able to hear it once, then they're not able to hear it again. They're just not hearing it. I think that gives you information. I think that gives you feedback of, is this working for me? Because I think a lot of the time in relationships, we maybe, brush things aside out of fear of losing that relationship, which then I guess equates to potentially for a moment being on your own.
Yeah.
And are you okay with are you okay with that being an outcome?
Yeah, and I think the self-respect piece really is pivotal here, isn't it? Because if you can have enough self-respect for yourself, you can give yourself empathy for saying, actually, the way that this situation is making me feel is not okay, and I'm not okay with it. I know that this isn't right, and I feel for myself that this isn't okay, and so I'm going to help my partner see that this isn't okay. And if he's not playing ball, then I've got to kind of stand on business.
You articulated that so well.
And move away. Well, I think I was just following off the back of what you said.
No, because I was just like, blah, 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 blah.
Sometimes you have to walk with your 2 feet, right?
Yeah.
To show yourself that love, that self-love, which sucks, doesn't it? That sometimes some people aren't able to give us what we need, but you can definitely give yourself what you need.
Yeah.
And if what you're needing is respect, and someone to validate you and to tell you that what you feel matters, you can give that to yourself.
It starts with you. It starts with you doing that first, because what you're modelling to the other person, aren't you? What is okay and what is not okay. And if you're not going to give it to yourself, in a way, why is that other person going to give it for you? Why is that other person going to give you the things that you're not able to give yourself? I think something that's quite interesting about this dilemma is the problem is being located in the best friend, potentially. And so, I've had previously, I don't work with couples, but I'll work with like half the couple, the individual.
Yeah.
And often what I can hear in the therapy room is, our relationship is great. We don't actually have any issues. It's that person. And so the problem gets located in another, but actually it's still between you two.
100%. It's just
that person is just an object.
It's like a
holding.
symptom.
Yeah, if that's a good way to put it, the symptom.
Yeah.
So I feel like what is happening here is your boyfriend's best friend is the symptom.
Yeah. And he maybe is a symptom of some form of disconnect, and responsiveness. I want to say emotional responsiveness. I think it's a term that I'm just making up, but it should matter to your partner that you feel a certain way. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're upset, that should matter to them, and if it doesn't matter to them, it's not a good sign. And it could be that it does matter, but he's just unable to really what's the word, metabolize it into an actionable step and lower his defenses.
Does he also only feel like there's 2 choices here? Stick up for you or stick up for the best friend? And so I'm just wondering, can there be some creativity in that? Because you kind of said that at the end, actually, didn't you? You said, I don't need him to cut off his friend. I just need to feel like I mattered to him. I wonder whether you can come up with ideas of what that looks like.
Yeah. How can he show you that
how
he
can
matters?
How can he that's
that you
it.
matter to him?
Because I just wonder if he's also stuck between you and the friend. And so you're saying, keep your friend there. Don't cut him off. Keep him there, but show up for me. What does that look like to you? Can you fantasize about that? Can you draw that? Can you play it out in like a movie or a role play or something that shows you, even when he's there, and if because these comments are coming up, how is your boyfriend showing you that you matter?
Yeah. And that's the dialogue, because you can have an idea, but also allow for his input. So then it becomes something that is co-created, something that you're both signing up for, you're both invested in.
It's the teamwork part.
Yeah.
It's the relationship part.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the boundaries that you may have for yourself in the relationship, and you're getting to grips with what's working for you and what isn't working for you, and finding ways to vocalize that in a way where your experience is heard, where you have both of you in mind, where you have a bigger picture of, you know, where you want the relationship to go. And I'm just wondering, because there are two people in this relationship, have you had an experience of him vocalizing his boundaries to you? Have you had an experience of him knowing what his needs are, and him telling you or having a conversation with you, such as, these elements are not working for me, in terms of his experience towards you, or your behaviours, or your friends, or your family? So I'm just wondering if that can also help you both to recognise you're both allowed to have boundaries, you're both allowed to have needs, and how do you come together with that?
Yeah.
Rather than it being like, when you did this, and then you did this, and you did this, and you did this. I guess it's about creating the space to be open, having the awareness to be open, and allowing that to become a dialogue for you both.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. What's the history of the two of you looking out for each other's emotional needs? And check in with yourself. Are you doing it? Could you be doing it better? And if you are doing it, using that as an example to say, look, you know, I'm mindful that this is how I try to keep you in mind. You know, is it okay if this can be reciprocated in this particular way? Yeah. Well, I think we've covered that.
Yeah.
Quite briefly.
I think because your emotions are really valid here, and it seems like this is not really necessarily about self-awareness for you, because I think the self-awareness is there. I think it's more about the communication piece, and then the what ifs. So like, I feel brave enough to communicate my needs, even if it means that the relationship will end.
Yeah. Good luck with this. Yeah. And again, if you feel like you need the support of someone who is objective and like a third party, a bystander, I would suggest couples therapy.
To just help you navigate those conversations.
Yeah. So thank you for sending that in. We really appreciate your dilemma, and hopefully this is something that other people have been able to take something from as well.
And please remember to like and subscribe to our page. It really helps with the ratings when you subscribe, and it helps us to, I guess, get these dilemmas out and get these thoughts out to a much wider audience, so that more people can benefit from our thinking.
Yeah.
And if you have any dilemmas to send, where can they send them in?
You can email them into hello@thetherapyfloor.com.
I'm Dr. Ritz.
And I'm Dr. Vicky.
And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.